This week's Cats Whiskers TV is presented in Blaze Webcast Vision.
This is Cats Whiskers TV. On this week's show, we'll be looking back on two great wins against the Coventry Blaze. We'll be looking at various press articles and owner statements that have appeared. And we'll also be looking ahead to the game against the Cardiff Devils at the weekend, plus speaking to some fans about his January make or break for the Panthers. But first, as ever, it's Paul Ragan with the news.
I'm Paul Ragan, and this is the news. Sheffield fans on the lookout for Mick Holland. Coventry and Blaze's search for imports reaches new depths. Top scientists are still mystified by Paul Ragan's statement. And that is the news.
Our guest this week is our reporter, Aaron Lord. You all right, mate?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yourself?
Not too bad, thank you. And of course, Paul, he's with us as always.
You're not doing the opening line then?
No. Lordy, lordy. There we go. You've not heard that one before, have you? Never. No. Right. Anyway, Coventry at the weekend. Two great wins. I think we thrashed them 1-0 on Saturday night.
Yes, we did, Jono, that's correct. Yeah, it should have been far more than what it was, but, you know, Hershey had another good game against us, didn't he? Which is, he does it every now and again, don't he? He pulls out one of those crackers, and to be fair, over the weekend, if you look at the amount of shots that he had to face...
110 shots, all in all. And, yeah, I mean, with an empty netter last night, he only let 4 in out of those, which is...
Well done, Carol.
I prefer Rachel.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, sorry, Helen. I've forgotten.
Coventry.
Coventry, yes, all yours.
Ring Road.
Yeah, I don't like that ring road. Yeah, it's too high up. They have roads underneath it and everything. No, yeah, I mean, it was a great result. So to say, Hirsch played really well. I thought he was a bit jammy at times, more jam than Hartley's. Some of the time, I mean, the one where he appeared to try and bat it over his shoulder into his own net, and somehow just about missed in the first period. But it was an absolute blinding goal that won it.
Yeah,
and
it was
a brilliant pass by Ling. I thought he should have passed. Graham went forward, Ling went that way. I thought the pass was there then, but it was a hell of a stretch pass to find him, and a great finish.
I think a word of praise for Coventry, because we know they were suffering injuries. Yeah. Guthrie lasted, I think, 2 shifts. They seem to be picking up injuries all through the game. But they played like warriors on Saturday night, and I think they were the absolute epitome of a team playing for the badge on the front.
And that's what they are all about this season as well, aren't they? You do have to feel sorry for them just a little bit, obviously. No? Okay, fair enough. Just a little bit, but, you know, you could still... and with it only being 1-0 as well, there was always a chance that, you know, they just... All you need is a dodgy pass or, you know, just a one-on-one, and we've lost that lead. So they fought to the bitter end, and you have to say well done to them for that. And like I say, that is purely what they're all about this season.
And moving on to last night's game, or Sunday night's game, they played very much a similar way. They were fighting hard. They were battling for everything. They took the lead with a very, very good goal, actually, by Cameron. He took it very, very well. But but I think in the end they just ran out of steam, and Panthers were able to come away with the win. But again, a lot of credit to the Panthers for going there and pulling out that sort of result. And there seems to be a lot more of that real backs to the wall grinding out a performance this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys thought, but I could see yesterday being maybe a little bit of a slip up. You know, maybe one that you think after the game on Saturday night, like we say, we outshot them by loads, and it was only 1-0, and you thought, is it going to be one of those days where maybe they might slip up? But like you say, it seems this season we've got a bit of a backbone, and we can actually, and with us going 1 goal down and to come back and win it quite comfortably in the end, you know, we need praise for that. So.
Paul?
Yeah, I mean, we said, didn't we, on last week's show, if you've not seen it, watch it. It was a brilliant one. About how, you know, that Thompson will have the team prepared.
Yeah.
And he did. You know, he knew what he got. I mean, they got Shutt was back playing. Guthrie you can't really include because he only did manage that couple of shifts. But yeah, I mean, he knew what they were going to mean. I really didn't understand a lot of the sort of criticism that was going around today about they had this fairly defensive setup, this 1-3-1, especially when you got the young Brits on.
But what else could they do?
Well, this is what I'm saying exactly. And you know, people say, "No, you tried that, and you still lost." Look at when we played them start of last season, we beat them 10-1, whatever. You know, and he tried to play an open game with those, you know, that sort of level of kids, and we just tore straight through them. You know, it was. You know, he probably didn't go out there. Well, he probably did with, you know, damage limitation almost in mind, but that's because that's what he had to do. Yeah.
Well, of course, there was a little bit of a coming together at the end of Saturday's game with Lepine and Olsen, and we've got our new fight correspondent, Student's little brother. Yes, there is 2 of them.
I resent that.
He gave his opinion at the end of the game. Here's what he had to say.
I think Lepine when he got a couple in on Olsen at the start, and then they just wrestled Olsen to the ground. Olsen, stop popping your lid.
A couple of statements we're going to look at now. We'll look at Mick Holland's Post article from Saturday a little later. But first, Paul Ragan, the Cardiff owner, released a statement last night. What do you make of it?
Oh, it's like that good-looking bloke on the news said earlier, mystifying. It's contradictory. It appears in places to blame everybody except himself. He goes to great lengths to say how much extra he's done for the club this year. So,
I mean, we've got the statement here, and talking about contradictory. I will not get involved in on-ice recruitment, but I will step in if I believe a change is needed. So you won't get involved, but you will. Aaron.
Oh, thanks. Have I got to try and dissect what that means? Great. I just don't know. To me, it can, you know, if you come out in public and you say what he said, obviously he's looking for a response from that. Now, my question is, that's going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to galvanise, you know, the team and the coach, and they might say, right, let's just forget about this. We're going to do this for ourselves, or it's going to go the way that I think it could actually go, and people go, do you know what? This ain't right. This isn't professional. If you've got a problem and you've got an issue, you know, especially Adams, you know, as the coach, this seriously undermines what he's trying to do, and you know, the job that he's been given. And it's not like Adams is, you know, it's his first season in charge. You know, he's been there a while, and I don't know. I think it's going to be a few rocky weeks ahead for Cardiff, to be honest.
I mean, he mentions Gerard Adams in the statement, and the only thing I can take from it is that it's a dig at him. For what little I can get from it, he mentions him twice, and it doesn't sound too complimentary. No. Now, Gerard Adams has been an incredibly loyal servant of the Cardiff Devils. He's been the coach there for, I want to think, 4 seasons now. He's done a good job on the resources that he's got. I mean, another example is where he says about the 4th biggest budget, and they're underachieving, but they're fourth. So surely there are expectations. Sorry.
I mean, you know, just looking at this here, you know, you've got lines like, we need to get confidence back in the dressing room. We need to get the work ethic right and consistency. We have too many guys not performing. All he's doing, I think, well, you can read any number of things into it, but you're right, you're saying, he's pointing the finger at Adams. There's one bit I do take exception to, though. We expect 120%. You give 120, you give 100%, you're dead. I mean, they've had a few, and then he's moaning about bringing extra players in. He's trying to kill them all, and then he doesn't want to bring any extra players in. Yeah, that's just not going to work, is it? He's not thought that through.
I've got to admit, I hate phrases like that. We expect 120%. Well, you can't give 120%. And the proverbial 110% is the other classic.
Another question is, why now? Why at such a pivotal time would you come out and say this at such length? Because, like we've said, they're fourth. With the way the league is this season, you know, in the conferences, you don't know what's going to happen. Give it 5 weeks down the line, and they might be second. You know, fair enough, they might be sixth. But it's just a very dodgy time to come out and say this, really, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I know why it is. It's because they're playing us next. It's part of this league conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yes, it says bring on
Nottingham at the end.
It's part of this league conspiracy to stop us winning the title.
Ah.
Never. Not a conspiracy, surely.
And, well, that moves us swiftly on to Mick Holland's article with the opening line, infamy, infamy, they've all got it in for me. I'm not going to say anything because I'll say something in a bit, but you've both read the article. What do you think?
Well, I kind of get what he's trying to say, but I'm no journalist. Let's get that out there now. But, well, I don't think he's going to be a popular person in Sheffield, is he? I don't think he'll get many Christmas cards from the Sheffield Steelers and fans, will he?
Neither am I. Ask me how much I care.
How much do you care, John?
Not a lot.
Oh, there you go. There's bits in there which I do sort of understand, but I don't know. It's one of those articles that's going to wind a few people up. And does it help the Panthers? That's my question. Or does it not really have an effect? I don't know.
I personally don't think it has an effect. I actually had a word. I spoke to Mick on Saturday night before the game, very, very briefly, and sort of said, "Oh, here comes Public Enemy #1." And to put it in child-friendly words, because it's a family show, he basically said, "Don't care. It's a discussion piece. It's there to create discussion," which it has done. That's his job. I mean, I think for me, I agree with a lot of what he's put. I probably, if it was me, if I was writing that on the website, on the blog, I probably wouldn't have put it in that words. The sentiment is spot on. Yeah. I think a lot of the sentiment is spot on, but probably not the way it comes across for me. So, but
I think I'd agree with you. I think you say there's a lot of good points in there, but I think in places it's the tone of it can come across as a bit, sorry Mick, but whiny. It's a bit, oh, everybody hates us, and if they do, so what? But at least it's taken the heat off you for a couple of days.
Which I'm always grateful for. I mean, I did get him agreed to come on a future show as a guest, so we should put some comments to him when that happens.
I mean, the thing is as well, at the end of the day, we're top of the league. You know, we're not the most popular team in the land. Some people might say, and whoever's at the top of the league at any time, people want to knock them off.
Yeah.
And the fact is, that's where we are at this precise moment. So there's going to be people that want to knock us off. If Sheffield were top of the league and we're playing like we were playing, I'm sure we'd all be saying that, slagging them off, etc. So you've got to take it with a bit of a pinch of salt at the same time, haven't you? And just go, catch us if you can.
And yeah, I think we'll leave that one there. January is, of course, a huge month for the Panthers, with 7 games against their Dark Conference rivals. But what do some of the fans think? We spoke to some on Saturday.
Our chances for the league title is make or break now in January. 9 conference rival games coming up. I think we need to get 15 points minimum to still be in a race. Hopefully going to start tonight with a big win against Coventry and tomorrow. Hopefully their injuries will turn out good for us and we can keep something in the tank for next week against Cardiff, throw everything at them and then go through to the rest of the season. After January, hopefully in a good position to close it out, moving into Scotland in February.
January about Panthers. I genuinely believe we've actually got a life or two, a little man, if you will, with an extra Mario or two. Belfast are a really hard February, playing Cardiff nearly every week. And we all know that's a hard place to play. Genuinely, I'm a child of Ellis's first season running the Panthers. Genuinely don't think we've had a better chance than this. Corey's doing a fantastic job, and the team's doing a good job. Tonight looked methodical. I don't think Blaze really had a chance in it. 1-0, but I never really feared the Blaze scoring. It was strange. We're not the kind of team to win 1-0. That's always been Sheffield or Belfast's resume. Tonight it's just looked like 1-0's our game. We can really win that kind of game, and that's a league winner for me.
I think generally make or break was Christmas period. It's not just about January. I think we've worked hard. The whole team has worked hard. The whole company has worked hard. There's a few selected games that we've looked at already that we know we can go before the end of the season that we know we can go and win. We have. I think carry on the way we are. We've done it. There isn't a massive threat, really. We know we can beat every team we play now, so the team just needs to stay focused. And I think that's all it is.
So the views of some of the fans there. So what do you think, Aaron?
I do actually think it is going to be make or break, to be honest, and I'm not really sure how you can think any different, because we're obviously playing everybody in our conference, and we're going to take points off people, but at the end of the day you can only beat what's put in front of you.
Can you follow that cliche?
I'll have a go. Every game's a cup final.
Yeah.
Yep. Back to Aaron. See if he can beat that.
Oh, you're putting the pressure on now, aren't you? It's a game of 2 halves.
But it's not. It's a game of 3 periods.
Paul,
have you been going long? No, I mean, joking aside, please. In all seriousness, at the end of the day, these are all really big games, but it's a cliche. But they all are. From here on in, if we're serious, we can't have a night off. We've got to give 100%. Well, probably 99. Just save a bit in the tank. You don't want to die. Not 120. Every game. We can't afford to drop games. Now we're going to, but then again, so are Belfast. I mean, we've got those 2 big games against Belfast in March.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that we've got Cardiff on Saturday, which is, like you say, every game it's a massive game. There's another one, but the weekend after we're at home to Belfast and then away to Sheffield the next night, and that's massive that weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I do think the St Patrick's weekend is going to be the week. I can just see that being the weekend where it's going to be decided.
I hope not. For
the fact that it's away.
For the fact that I don't know whether I'll be able to take it by then. I'd like it done and dusted by then, but I don't think it will be.
I've just got one of those funny feelings, and I've not won the lottery yet in my life, so don't worry about it too much. But yeah, they are all big games, and like Paul says, we're going to drop a point here and there, and I think the main thing is in these next few weeks is that we keep on going, whether even if we have a night off and we lose, or we may be losing overtime or on a penalty shootout, we keep on going. We don't let it get us down, because what we don't want is the fact of maybe we have a bad night, which we might have, you never know, and then it's, oh no, the pressure's getting too much maybe, and we let that affect our next game.
I think though that we've when we have lost, I mean Edinburgh being one example, and then the recent loss against Sheffield, the response has been superb.
Yeah.
Each time they've come back and won games.
It's like we've had bounce back ability.
Oh. Well,
I'm leaving it there. That's all I'm going to say.
You win. I think another thing that's also come out is there's a lot of people seem to be saying at the moment it's our title to lose. Now,
anybody in particular, Johnny?
Well, I'll just give my opinion for a second. Is that is the biggest load of rubbish I think I've heard. It's okay. We are currently 6 points clear of Belfast, who have 2 games in hand. They win them 2 games in hand. They're 2 points behind. And we've got to play them 3 times. I'm sorry.
Again.
I am
Rachel.
I am sorry, but there is no way at the moment, with 20 games left to play, you can say it's ours to lose.
I can. Not. No, I'm not confident, but then again, I never am.
Well, we've been here before. We've been in this position before.
No, the table was over there last time.
Oh, God, I hate him. Is that a tumbleweed? Right, we have been in this position in the league before. And, you know, well, we all know what happened then. So we lost. Well, we obviously didn't win the league. We haven't won since before both of us were born. So, you know.
I think that's the people that are saying that. I think they're feeling the pressure in that. That's why they're saying that.
Anyone in particular, Aaron?
I don't know. Maybe somebody that I don't know. What's that team in orange? And they've got that person, friend of the show.
Cindy.
Hey, there he is. Now, look, they're just playing. They're playing mind games, aren't they? And they're trying to wind us up. And I can't. Can you really, imagine the players sat in the locker room beforehand being bothered about that? I don't know. I don't think they're just trying to do what they can, because I think they can see, we're in a very positive position, and they can see that, we're playing well at the moment, and I think, they're a little bit scared, and, we should enjoy that. And,
Okay, well, just to slightly end on very, very quickly, a couple of signings have been announced. We've got Derek Campbell signing for the Blaze, which probably not what they need, but a body, knows the team, knows the league.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were talking about last week. Watch it. He's a body, and that's what they need. I don't think he's what Coventry need, because they're not exactly short of toughness, are they? Or players likely to do something really, really stupid. But he takes the pressure off, because they've beyond the people they haven't got playing. They've got a lot of players who wouldn't be playing on a side that got a normal amount of injuries. So he'll come in. He can only help them. Yeah.
And then Tom Hartmanis, previously of new Tom Hartmanis.
That's not what you said.
Yes, that was. Previously of Newcastle, Edinburgh, Fife, speedy player coming to Braehead, and they desperately need players.
They need something, don't they? Because they've just not really been the team that everybody thought they would be this season. And I think with both players and both teams, they're stronger now than what they were before they were signed. I don't think both players are going to make a massive difference to either team personally, but they're good players. They're going to go in there, they're going to give their all, aren't they? They're that type of player, and it can only benefit them long term.
Well, we shall see what happens. Just one game for the Panthers this weekend as they play Cardiff Devils at home on Saturday. Should be a tough game, as we know they'll be giving 120%.
Well, yeah, I'm interested to see that. No, it should be a tough game. I think with Cardiff, you just never really know, is it? They're not a bogey team as such, but they can be playing really poorly one day, but then the next day they play really well, and somehow you've lost against them. But it'll be interesting. I think I can see it just being quite a good, fast-paced, open game for some weird reason. Obviously, we've got a new signing, which is coming back. I think, and I do honest that the crowd I think are going to go absolutely mental when he skates out.
Yeah. Number 90.
Yeah, but the way they announced that, I thought that was very clever.
I thought you meant Kelsey Wilson.
Well, he'll be back as well. Well, we think.
I'm sure the crowd will go wild when he comes out as well. But no, I think that's going to make us really. I think if the players don't get a buzz from the crowd on Saturday, then they shouldn't really be playing the sport. So I think it's going to be an interesting game.
Max Burbright should be back for Cardiff, which will be a big boost for them. Great player. Will give them a lift. But then we've got.
Oh, they're not coming on the bus.
But obviously I'm just going to ignore that. we've got obviously Beauregard coming back. Kelsey Wilson should be back in the team.
Beauregard's coming back?
Yes.
Oh, I must have missed that.
No, you didn't. So we should be on our A game.
Yeah, you
should be.
Yeah. You've ruined it now, haven't you? But it'll be like a cup final for us, basically. You know, it's a big game. Every game's big now. But yeah, I can see it. You know, we've sat here before and said it could be a cracking game, and it's been an absolute shocker. But yeah, I mean, talking about, you know, Cardiff, you never know which team's going to turn up. They are consistently inconsistent. You know, they can go and win one game and then get tanked at home by Hull. But which they, you know, they did at the weekend. So I'm not making any predictions before you ask.
Sorry, I was just going to say, who do you think is going to be left out though?
Well, that was going to be my very next question. Suppose
So, Jono.
Yeah.
Obviously, with DAB coming back and Kelsey Wilson coming back from his suspension, who do you think Mr. Corey Nielsen will leave out and why?
I don't know. Because
thank you for that. Paul, what about you?
In all seriousness, I don't. I honestly don't know who will leave out. I think the tip is Gallivan, but I thought Gallivan was superb at the weekend. He was superb on Saturday night. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if he kept Kelsey Wilson out and tried to keep as settled lines as possible. Because I don't think Cardiff Cardiff aren't really a rough team. So, do we really need Kelsey Wilson on Saturday? Probably not. We probably more need Kelsey Wilson for the weekend after, when we're playing Belfast, and certainly when we're playing Sheffield, because I'm sure I'll get a hell of a reception up there. If I had to put my neck on the line, I would say possibly Kelsey Wilson.
Paul, what about you?
I can see why he asks the question. I didn't go on.
Yeah, in fact, take the microphone back.
It's a terrible thing, but I probably agree with you. When? It depends on how Nielsen sees the game, who he feels are better. I mean, we don't even know that Beauregard is going to be in the starting lineup on Saturday. At the end of the, but I think he might be. I mean,
well, I think after the build-up he was given on Saturday, I'd be very surprised if he is.
If I'm honest, it's great to have him back, but I didn't like the way they did it on Saturday night. I thought doing that in the middle of the game was only. I mean, because the players are going to think, oh, that's another body in. I've got to look in over my shoulder. I mean, I thought Gallivan had an absolutely cracking weekend. Really picked him up. So, maybe we don't know. Maybe he's looked at it, and looked at the way Ling's scoring now, the way Graham's scoring now, and thought, hang on, could be me. And he's upped his game, and that's good. That's what we want. That's the sort of reaction we want from these players who might be cut. But it could be Nielsen. It could, knowing what Nielsen's like, he could drop a defenceman. We don't know. And this is essentially what I'm saying. I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue.
And I think the conclusion is we don't know. So we'll just look forward to it. Find out on Saturday. Good tickets still available, I'm pretty sure, but I expect there'll be a very, very big crowd there. I'm sure there'll be a very big crowd there again. So I would be very disappointed if it was any less than 5,000. So
what's the bet in the attendance? Ends 9-0.
Ooh, there's a prediction. Well, let's
the only one you get.
Let's see if that comes true next week. So that is it for this week. I'm sure you're very glad to hear. We'll be back next week. We will be looking back on the Cardiff game and looking ahead to 2 huge games against Belfast and Sheffield. So until next week, goodbye.